Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new Warhammer 40k Imperium magazine update video. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course drop a comment down below. Love hearing back from you guys, it goes a massive way to help the channel too. And without further ado, let's crack on with it. Now, as you may be aware, if you've watched these videos for quite a while, I like to have a little glimpse into the future of the magazine. I like to know what's coming up and I like to share it with you guys as well. And today is no different. So we can go through what we're going to get from issues all the way up to issue 38. So we've got some really good stuff. So we're on issue 28 currently. So we've had some Necron Warriors. And next week we get the other bits of Necron Warriors and Scarab Swarms as well. And yeah, shouldn't be too bad. And it would be alright. So this should be now, so we've got enough for 20 Necron Warriors at minimum. And build them up, have alternate weapon options, have the same weapons if you want to, entirely up to you. Have a bit of fun with them, but really good stuff. And it builds up your Necron army very well. Now, issues 30 onwards, there's some really good ones. There's some ones that are very kind of hit and miss, and some that aren't that good. Now, issue 30 is, yeah, one of the ones where it's not so good. It's a paint issue. We get Mephiston Red and we get Mournfang Brown. Very handy to have, just a little dull, in all honesty. It's not always the most fantastic thing to have paint issues. It's always nicer to have the minis over the paints. However, the whole collection is that you get minis and you get paints and you get everything that you need to get going and paint it up to a basic standard, really. So this is not the end of the world. It could just be better. Now, the other thing that we know that we're getting is we're getting more scenery during this kind of middle section of the magazine, really. So we're getting the Rune Factorum in issues 31 and 34. This is a pretty cool building set, so if you are not going to use scenery in your battle games, you can alternatively use this scenery pieces if you wanted to, I don't know, make dioramas, for instance, or if you wanted to just dick around and do something slightly different, you can use them and you can have a bit of fun with it. I've ordered a second copy of issue 31 because I want the extra building so I can do a diorama as well. Now, whether this diorama is going to turn out to be any good, who knows. However, I just want to have a dick around with it and kind of see how I get with it and where I go with it. I did exactly the same with Mortal Realms, I'm not going to lie to you. In Mortal Realms, I did it and I have a second Sigmarite Mausoleum, which I haven't used yet. But the idea was that I can use it later on for a diorama piece, which has been percolating in my brain for a while now. Now, after that we get our first of the 3 Cataphron Destroyers that we're supposed to get in the collection. The Cataphron Destroyers are pretty cool. If you wish to, you can order extra of these because they do make an alternate kit, which is the Cataphron Breachers. Either way, you've got some really cool AdMech units which look really good as well. Now, the way this is going to work is we get 1, and then the remaining 2 should probably, most likely, appear in a single issue. So we'll get 1 that's kind of like essentially meant to be the leader unit of the 3. So this happened in Conquest, and it happened in Mortal Realms magazine as well. There were several issues between them, but the same thing happened. So with the Dracolines for good old Mortal Realms, and with, I think it was the bikes and stuff like that for the good old Conquest issues. But either way, it worked very well, and it spreads it out as well, which isn't too bad. So you're not overwhelmed with having to paint up loads of bits and pieces. You can take your time with it, you can have a bit of fun with it, and happy days. Now, after that, we also get some more paint. We're going to get some, well, a couple of shades more precisely. We get Reikland Fest Shade, and we also get Cryptek Armor Shade Gloss. Now, gloss shades do exactly that. They make a glossy surface. I've never used one, and I'm intrigued to use it, and I might have to test some pieces out and just see where we go from it. But not too bad, it should be pretty cool, and yeah, it'll keep it a good shine, which is the main thing, especially over your metallics, which is kind of what you want sometimes. Now, we already knew what was coming up into issue 34, but we can go through now what we now know is going to come with issues 35 to 38. This is all through Warhammer.com. I've checked them out, they're pretty good, and they are always very, very accurate with what they say as well. So, without further ado, let's crack on. So, issue 35, we get a Tech Priest Engine Seer. So, a command level AdMech miniature, pretty different, pretty unusual, and has an unusual look to it with them servitor arms behind it, and some pretty chunky boots to go with it as well. Pretty unique, pretty different, and yeah, I must admit, I am kind of looking forward to getting this guy. I like having a character unit, or something that looks like resembles a character unit to paint up, and this is exactly that type of thing that I enjoy. So, actually really, really good stuff, and you can get some high level detail on these type of kits as well, which is really, really good fun, if you wish to. If you don't wish to, you can paint it up in a basic style, so it's just tabletop ready, and away you go. But not too bad. For a 20 quid model for £9 is actually really good fun. Issue 36 is our first Necron vehicle. It is a Necron Tomb Blade. So, fingers crossed, this will happen the same way as the Destroyers are going to should be happening. So, we get 1 out of 3 for the first issue, and then later on we'll get the other 2. Fingers crossed. Now, there are some slightly different loadouts. You can choose them how you wish to. You can have a bit of fun with it. The sprues are identical, so you can swap them out as you see fit. Entirely up to you, but you can have them all with the same weapon. You can have them with different weapons, and you can have a little bit of fun with it. But it's not a bad little kit as well. It looks a little bit older than the rest of the Necron ranges, and I'm not sure if it is or not, but it's something fun, it's something to paint, and it's something to do, and it bulks out your Necron army, which is exactly what you want. Issue 37, we get some more scenery. We're getting Thematic Plasma Conduits. Now, currently, these are not available on their own. You can only get them from the Nachmund box set at the moment, because they've been removed from every other set, and from sale on their own. It's more scenery, very, very easy to paint. You can paint it up in no time at all, I must admit. They attach and they can kind of link to the heliotrope reactor that we've not long just had. I painted up my heliotrope reactor in about a day, and that was going with some slight good detail in certain areas, and then just kind of mucking around in others and just going for a flat colour over most of it. Very, very easy to do. You're not going to have too many issues with this. You can make them look really cool, you can make them look really dark, you can make them look really bright and silvery and brand new if you wish to. Entirely up to you, but really something different, something decent. They act as cover in your games if you need them to as well. Then issue 38 is essentially the downer type issue of the 4, and this is a paint issue. So this is a paint issue with a difference though. So first off, we get Uriel Yellow. Yellow paint's very, very difficult to use, an absolute nightmare. Getting a very, very good yellow colouring over many minis is actually very, very difficult. This will come in handy though, for a lot of kits I'm sure, and you can get a lot of bits out of it. But yeah, it's something good, it's an extra paint. It's not very often to see this colour of yellow as well. You normally just get Avalanche Sunset and stuff like that, but this is going to work just as good. The other thing we get is a texture paint. We get Astro Granite. So Astro Granite, ever so slightly like Sterling Mud, but everything's grey in colour instead of brown, but has the same kind of thing, so it's a very kind of sandy texture kind of thing. whatever you do, do not brush texture paints onto your bases. It will absolutely destroy brushes, which is why they give us the Citadel texture spreader. Kind of bendy plastic. It is a little handy plastic tool though. The one that I got with good old Mortal Realms I still use, and I use it quite regularly for all my bases. It does very, very well. Before that I was using metal tools, which are good, however they're too sturdy and sometimes they're not easy to use on certain minis as well. But really, really good stuff, and it's something different, and it'll keep us going, which is the main thing. Really, that's what you kind of want to see with it. Now, that's it. That's all we know so far. Near enough at the halfway point of the magazine, so it's going to go pretty quick. We have a lot more stuff to kind of look forward to. We have the other two Cataphron Destroyers to look forward to. We have the Adeptus Sororitas coming into it. We have some more Space Marines to come. We have more and more Necrons as well. So we have some really, really good kits to look out for as well. And it should be really good. Fingers crossed, we get a lot of really, really cool bits and pieces out of it. And I'm sure we will. Right, that's it from me. Thank you very, very much for watching. And I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye now.